What do you do when your biggest dream costs your entire life savings and still doesn't work for the first 6 months?
It did not work for the first 6 months. It didn't work. And I think I could have just easily given up and said, well, I tried. But no, I really wanted to do this. But something else I would say is, people who want to maybe explore a creative path, it's good to have a job that pays you. And I'm so grateful for the place I was working.
Hey friends, welcome back to my Tech Journey podcast. I'm your host Esther, and in this episode we are pulling back the curtain on the real business of being a content creator on YouTube. Joining me is none other than Fisayo Fosudo, Africa's leading tech YouTuber, visual storyteller, and the man behind some of the smartest brand collaborations on the continent. In this episode, we unpack how Fisayo turned YouTube into a full-fledged business with a $5,000 investment, the biggest mistake new content creators make when trying to monetize their channel, and how you can grow a YouTube channel without going viral. If you've ever asked yourself, how can I actually start a YouTube channel, grow it, and monetize it, then this episode is a masterclass for you. You do not want to miss it. So be sure to stick till the very end, okay? Let's get into the conversation. Hi Fisayo, welcome to my Tech Journey with Esther. It's so good to have you as a guest today.
Thank you so much. How are you doing today?
I'm fine. How are you doing also?
I'm doing okay. This is the first thing I've done today.
Same here. I woke up so ready for this, and usually I don't wake up too early on my Saturdays, but I was like, I'll wake up early for this particular episode. So it's just good to, have you on the show, talk about your journey and get into the nitty-gritty of YouTube.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. So before we get started, I always play a game most times with my guests, and I feel like you're well known. So I was like, what game can we play together? So let's play a game of 2 truths and a lie, where you tell me 2 truths or 3 things about yourself. 2 of them will be truths, 1 will be a lie, and I'll guess the lie. Let's see.
Wow. 2 truths and a lie. I would say I
don't know. Kind of lost you.
I'm
thinking
almost
about it.
I'm still thinking.
Okay.
There's one more I want to write.
Okay, take your time.
Okay. 2 truths and a lie. I've used over 150 phones. I have visited 10 countries. And I can ride a bike.
And you can
ride a bike.
What's the ride a bike? That's interesting. You've used over 150 phones. I think that's very reasonable considering what you do with phone reviews. So it's just the number. I don't know if that number is accurate, but in terms of how, what you do on phones, I think I can let that go. And then the next one is you've visited over 10 countries. I think that's believable too. I the bike one is the one that I feel like it's very unique for you to put it there out of every other thing, the bike, so I'll say that's a lie. You don't know how to ride a bike. Maybe that's a lie.
You don't catch me?
Did I get it? Oh, really?
Yeah. I can ride
don't worry,
a bicycle.
you're not alone.
But
okay, I can't even ride a bicycle, so it's fine. And that's why I'm like, maybe there are more people like me. Okay.
It's been a while since I've
Okay, that was good.
That was very easy. I should have made it very
difficult. It was easy. I felt because the other ones, obviously, I know you traveled, you do lots of phone reviews, so it was just nah. Okay, Fisayo, let's start with this question. I know your journey into like content creation and your journey in general is very inspiring. I did a bit of research and I know that you started off as like a graphic designer. You did a bit of freelancing and you finally somehow took the leap into YouTube. So, how did you know that, or at what point did you know that YouTube was like the right path for you? YouTube was it at what point?
So, actually, when I was 17 years old, I really wanted to make content, but I did not have the means to make content. And as a 17-year-old Nigerian, if you're not wealthy, you can only hope. But I think I kind of just kept the hope alive. And whenever people are entering any new industry, there tends to be people that they see that they really like and they want to sort of emulate. And that's not wrong. Like if you are going into a new space, someone probably attracted you or something probably attracted you to that space. It could have been your environment. It could have been anything. It could have been what you've seen online. And for me, it was people like Marcus Brownlee and the Team Crispy, as they were called back in the day. And I just wanted to make crispy, quality content. So I kept that hope alive. And, before then I was a designer, user interface designer, graphic designer. And I did that for a couple of years. I was very, very good at designing. I'm still good at designing, but I did it commercially. For a very long time, and I earned a significant amount of money, which contributed to my life savings of $5,000. Then I just took that money and put it into buying gear for YouTube, and that was kind of how it started. But I've always wanted to do it. I was intentional from the beginning that I wanted to make content about technology, or smartphones specifically, and apps. And now we've kind of evolved. We've added like the finance arm to it. We've added the interviews as well. And we've done some very crazy, we've done a lot of very interesting interviews. We met the Secretary of State of the United States.
I saw the interview.
We met Don Jazzy. We met the Deputy Governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria. We interviewed the Vice President of Technology, the Senior Vice President of Technology at Google, who reports directly to Sundar Pichai, which is amazing.
That's
and
amazing.
People were very surprised because they were like, how did you do that? Like, nobody gets to see this person. And then he commented on my LinkedIn post. I was like, this was very nice. I was like, oh my God.
Wow.
Yeah, I would never have, 17-year-old Fisayo that wanted to make content that didn't have the means would never have believed that this would ever happen. But it's been a very interesting journey.
That's beautiful. Because I also watched the one that's like your content on, I think, helping some people revamp their house. You bought refrigerators and you changed their house, and it was just very heartwarming because, the impact that you were able to make on that family. So, yeah, when you were talking,
that was a partnership with Fuani Nigeria, LG Nigeria.
Okay,
so LG, they make the appliances. We did a house store one time. My entire house is LG, and that was after we did like all the home renovations. And for us, it was like they called me to the office, sat me down, were like, this is something that we think you could be part of, and I was like, sure. And we also were there. Obviously, you don't make any money from something like this. This was us contributing, and it was just very fascinating to see. We've renovated 3 homes together, renovated a school, and then built a house for someone. And it's just very great to see. I wish I could do more, but it takes so much time to do.
I'm sure it takes time. It takes lots of resources as well. Yeah. While you were talking, you mentioned that you spent like your whole savings back. I think that was back in 2017 to buy lots of gear. And personally, I feel like that's a huge risk because there are only 2 things that can happen. It's either yes, it works, or it doesn't work. And I know you said that you had like a clear plan for, what you wanted to do. You had been seeing people inspiring you. You knew when you were starting that, okay, I want to start with phone reviews and, just double down on that niche. But at the end of the day, like, a lot of people have a goal in mind, but somehow it doesn't work, right? So what if it didn't work? What would have happened?
So I think this is a very good question. It did not work for the first 6 months. It didn't work. And I think I could have just easily given up and said, well, I tried. But no, I really wanted to do this. But something else I would say is, people who want to maybe explore a creative path, it's good to have a job that pays you. And I'm so grateful for the place I was working. The time that was not work time, I was able to use it to explore and, try my hands on something, but also be committed to the work. People can explore their creativity, but they need to have something that pays them. I think that's something that people should think about. You don't want to dive headfirst into something when there's no means to earn from the thing. It's just a recipe for disaster. And the last thing anybody wants is to be a broke creative person or a creative that cannot really achieve the goals because of the limited resources or lack of resources. So have a job. Yeah. Don't quit your job for something like YouTube, for instance. It's not going to be worth it if you are regretting this thing that you so love. Because I think creative passions are things that people really, really love, but not being able to explore that because of resources is kind of a bummer. And I'm somebody that reads a lot of books. It's something I read in a book. It's called Ignore Everybody by Hugh MacLeod. I recommend it. And that's kind of where I learned that. And I'm so grateful that I was able to read a lot of books before I even started. Books like Mastery by Robert Greene, which I've read like 13 times now. Very good book. I've read a couple, and it was just, they kind of primed me to be ready to start. And when I started, I just knew, focus on your work, leave all the drama and all the rants out, just focus on what you're doing, keep improving what you're doing, and let that be the thing people talk about, and not you or whatever it is you said about some random conversation. So
yeah, I love what you said about, like, don't dive headfirst into like whatever your passion is, because there's this popular saying, people just say follow your passion. At the end of the day, like, the balance you brought to it is, it's important to also have money, like something to pay your bills, because you need to first be okay before you then follow your passion. Because if you just follow your passion blindly, at the end of the day, it will lead to frustration. You just realize that it might not work the way you think, and you just start getting frustrated. And I think just having that source of income while you explore your passion, I think is a more wise decision, and is a wiser approach to it. Yeah. So nothing happened in the first 6 months. Like, you were creating content on YouTube and people were hardly viewing it. And what kept you going? Because it's hard right now. I think everyone just wants to see results fast, quick. You put a video up, it gets 1,000 views, and you just get like many subscribers overnight. But for 6 months, you were doing that and you weren't really getting the results that you wanted. So what would you say kept you going? I know you had a goal, but at the end of the day, why did you just keep on doing it over and over?
Yeah. So, when I said I invested my life savings into this, I really did, because I was now in the negative. I had the customs seized my gear because I couldn't pay the $1,000 import duties. Imagine you spent.
So you like imported stuff and.
Yes. So imagine being at 0.00. Whoa. And then minus 1,000 because you need the thing that you've paid for and you don't have it. So somehow we got that cleared. Eventually I used some of the things I bought. I made videos about some of the things I bought. So I bought a VR headset. I bought an Apple Watch. And I think I was just trying to review things I could find here and there. There was a friend of mine that was making cases that she drew on. I did that too. I just tried to try my hands on things. I think what happened was I then reached out to Techno. So his name is Jesse. He was the head of partnerships at Techno, I believe. And I reached out to him and he was like, "Oh wow, your videos look nice. I didn't know you were in Nigeria or something. Come to the office." I was like, "Yes." And then I got to the office and they were like, "Take, this is a smartphone that we are about to release." I was like, "Wow, okay." Wow. I've gotten to that point. Okay. This was like very early.
Do you remember number of subs you had? Very early.
I had 725 subscribers.
So even less than 1,000 subscribers.
Exactly.
Wow.
So the key to this whole thing is creators who are just starting out should start creating the kind of content that they want to get paid for. If you ever want to work with brands, you want to start creating the kind of content that the brands can already envision themselves fitting into. That's like, that way you're like laying a foundation and you're like, you know what, this is a template. You can join my template and join how I sort of present content. So what I did was product reviews, and I did, those product reviews in a very nice way, but they were not the best.
It was also unique, right? It wasn't popular to find people doing this type of reviews.
I think back then people used phones, which was very easy and quick. I bought a camera, lights, sat in front of the camera. It was so horrible, but I did it. I did the thing, and I think the first video we put out, I got like 20,000 views. I was like, people find value.
You mean
in
the
this.
first review video you put out?
It wasn't a review video per se. Okay, the first review video, yes, but I think I put out like other videos that surrounded it. But I know the review one got 20K. Either review or impressions, I can't remember. And people were like commenting, and they were like, "Okay, there's value here." And then they sent another one. It's like, wow, these people really trust me. Like, they're just giving me phones. They're not even worried that I might just disappear or something. But
so when they give you phone, was it like a dash or just
no. I return.
You use the return. Okay, okay.
So I don't think I got to keep any phones until much later. So, and obviously zero money, zero nairas were coming in. Nobody was paying anybody for anything. So I was just doing all of this because I loved it.
So these brands, were they not paying this?
No.
Oh, so initially they weren't paying.
I mean, like, they don't pay.
Really?
Yeah.
I would have thought that they pay.
So we can talk about like that later, but like I'm talking about like in this period.
Like initially, right?
Yes.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I would have thought that initially, even though like you didn't have that whole audience.
Yeah, the ecosystem wasn't so massive then as it is now. Now there's everybody that has like hundreds of thousands of followers everywhere that create tech content. I think back then we were very few and we all knew each other, and we were very tiny.
Yeah. I think
like we did the techno thing. We got another device. I remember doing a video. I got to the event, like on my way to the event, I was already recording. I got to the event, recorded, edited it, and posted it at the event. And the video, when we put it out, we were like number 36 on the trending list in Nigeria for videos. And then we did another one and we're trending again in another country. We're trending in like Kenya or something. So I was like, wow, you know,
People like this.
and we kept doing that. Samsung, Gioni, different brands. We've worked with over 100 brands. And we just kept putting it out. And yeah, it's been 8 years. I feel old.
Oh yeah. That's a long time to, be consistent with something, because I think consistency is also important, right? A lot of times it's easy to just start something and just put it aside when you feel like it's probably not giving you the results that you want to see. But for you, you were consistent. And I think creators, especially on YouTube, struggle with, because for you, you invested in quality gear and, you had the resources. But I think it's important to just start making content. Like, your first content is never going to be perfect, right?
Yeah,
It's never.
yeah.
I still remember, even me myself, I have content that I shot with the same camera, but I didn't have lighting, and I look back at it, I'm like, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. What was I thinking? But the point is that you just need to start from somewhere, and eventually someone will see you, take a chance on you, and that's just how your journey would start. So in your first year of YouTube, what was the biggest lesson that you say you learned while building the whole, getting to maybe 1K or getting this whole little partnership deals? What was the first lesson you learned? Quick pause from the episode, because if you've been job hunting and feeling stuck, I need you to hear this. Hired is my 3-day career accelerator that I designed for folks like you, those that are tired of applying, hearing nothing back, and want a step-by-step guide on how to land their dream tech job. Inside Hired, I don't just talk about how to fix your resume based on generic advice. I actually walk you step by step on how to craft an ATS and keyworded optimized resume that attracts recruiters. And that's not all. I also teach you how to turn your LinkedIn profile into a direct job invite magnet. I'll also show you how to craft a job search plan that saves you time and gets you results. People like Bukola join Hired, follow the steps, and has this to say: Hired is the most step-by-step plan I've come across. I finally know what to do every single day. Now Bukola is on her way to land her dream role, and you could be the next. If you're tired of guessing and want a real strategy that works, then visit thefreelancehq.com/hired or check the description box below for a link to save your seat. Let's get you hired. Now, back to the episode.
I think reach out to people. If I didn't reach out to Techno, they would never know I existed, or maybe they will learn of my existence much later, at a time where it may not have been advantageous to me. When I reached out, they immediately got the value of what I was trying to do, and they clicked immediately, and we were just working quickly. So reach out when you're starting out. Don't be afraid to reach out, but offer value. I think when it comes to collaboration, don't think of just yourself. Think of the other person and what they might benefit. So Techno would benefit from people seeing their device on a platform that could probably get to 20,000 people, and they did. I'm happy that somebody could see the vision in that. But try and understand what value it is that you're giving, and see how you can translate it into being beneficial for someone else. I think that was what I employed. And this is something that I've always known, because again, of all the things I've read, I just it's all just seemed like it fell into place. But this was just me applying the things I've learned.
Would you do anything differently from how you started if you look back?
Maybe I would have kept my Bitcoins. I had three Bitcoins then. I would have kept my Bitcoins. That would have been 150K.
That would have been a lot now.
Yeah.
Okay, nice. So I always hear this advice, I hear two differing opinions for creators on YouTube. There's the school of thoughts that say create quality content right when you're starting out, and there's the second school of thought that say just keep creating, create as many content, people will finally get to know you and check you out. So what do you think, for someone that's starting out, should they focus on quality or is it the quantity that matters? What matters more for a new YouTuber?
So I'm actually working on something that I'm trying to put like the past 8 years of my content knowledge into something that I can give to people. And something I'm writing there that I will flesh out more when it's ready is consistency is the consistency of feeling. It's not the consistency of quantity or even quality. It is the consistency of feeling. What do I mean by this? The thing we always ask ourselves in our studio is, why should people care? Why should people care about this new thing I'm putting out? Once people can care about something, you've made them, and again, it's storytelling. You are telling a story. You might think they were just reviewing a smartphone or just opening a box or something, but we're actually telling a story in some form. Some may not include words, some may just be visuals. But we also do those deep dives where we, like the most recent video where we talked about MTN's tariffs. That's one of our very best videos. I believe it's like 40,000 views now. And the animator was just going all in on that video. That video, if you need to know anything about the MTN tariffs, watch that video. I would only recommend my video. I wouldn't recommend anything else. But yeah. I said MTN, like the mobile network tariffs rather. In Nigeria, if you need to know anything. But yeah, I digress. But yeah, consistency is when people come in contact with your content, how did they feel? And can you create more content that will make them feel the same way over and over and over again? It doesn't matter how long or it doesn't matter how many times you publish it. It matters how many times people feel that same way and are drawn to you to check out the other things you've done and come back again to watch it. And if you think about it, this ties into the algorithm. The algorithm is a bunch of interests. The interests are audience's interests. And the algorithm is like, they just know that, okay, this is what these people like. If you watch something, you're interested in that thing, you will keep getting fed more of that thing.
Keep saying all those
And
recommendations.
if people care about the things you do in such a way, people like them, and them would keep getting recommended the thing you've done. So that's kind of how I think about it. And that's like the way that the people on YouTube themselves have said it. That's the way people that are experienced creators have said it. So it's really, it now clicked for me that it was really the consistency of feeling. How often, if you watch a Talma video, you feel something. You feel like, oh, this is funny. I can relate. You watch a Maraji video, you're like, oh my God, that concept clicked for me. You watch a Fisayo Fosudo, you're like, yes, I definitely learned something and I want to come back and learn some more. And that's the way you should feel. So yeah, it's the consistency of feeling.
I love that. I've actually never thought about it like that. So as much as like quality, quantity are good, it's like if you're creating content, like lots of content that is not evoking emotions in people. Yeah. It's almost useless because no one is going to watch it. You're just checking the list for yourself and checking the, box. But at the end of the day, if it's not evoking any emotion, no one is feeling anything. It's just like, there's no point, right? So focusing on content that evokes emotion in people, whatever emotion you want them to evoke, like storytelling, it makes sense that way. Okay. Yeah. So, I've had people reach out to me personally for my YouTube and, all this from different countries too. And they keep telling me that, oh, this video is not doing well. They can help me optimize it, SEO optimizations and for me, I think I've actually at one time at the beginning of my, when my channel was still very small, I found an SEO, I think they call them SEO, YouTube SEO specialists. So I found a person on a freelance platform and then I realized that at least it seemed that way that the person was sending bots to my channel because at some point it went really high like the views, and after a while it dropped, which was very weird. So you can imagine seeing like maybe 2,000 views on your video, and then comes back to 1,000, and you're like, something weird is happening. So at that point, that's when I realized that, okay, I don't think this is useful. So, do you think, aside the optimizing of your like your title, the description, do you think it makes sense to actually have like SEO specialists? Is there something special behind the scenes that works?
No, I don't think, especially for a platform like YouTube, I don't think that SEO specialists are. I don't know. I don't know. But I've never used any SEO specialists on YouTube.
Okay.
Maybe it's because of when I started. When I started, there were so many things that I had to learn on my own. And now all the tools are there. In fact, YouTube is really helpful now. But I don't know that anybody needs an SEO specialist.
Yeah, because there are tons of them. They keep reaching out, and I'm like, no, I'm not interested.
You can just ignore. So what I would say works the most for YouTube is your thumbnail, your title. Those two things are the first impression. That's the first thing you see. If you can optimize your thumbnail and your title, you're good. That's the first thing. The next thing, which is supposed to be the even first thing, is your video needs to be good. No doubt. Like, surprise, surprise. The video that people watch has to
that's
be
the
good.
main content. Yeah.
Do you understand? But beyond that, it needs to be a video that people can watch longer than 50% of it. Like, people can watch more or around half or more than half of. What this means is what this is telling the algorithm is people are interested in this content to the point where they are able to watch it for a significant period of time. It seems like it is a good content, so we'll keep pushing it more. YouTube prioritizes watch time. That's what it's called. Watch time, the time people watch, how long people watch it for. They prioritize that. Not really views per se, is the watch time. And if people watch something for longer, YouTube is like getting the signal and okay. And that's why you see long form content does well on YouTube. Your Nollywood films, your podcasts, and all of these things, they do well because there's like, you are getting somewhere in a long form video. It's typically longer storytelling. That makes sense,
actually.
Yeah, so
I always thought it was views, but it's actually more of the watch hours.
The watch time, the content itself.
The watch time. Okay.
How people enjoy the content. That, I think, logically, people are going to watch something for long if they enjoy it, weirdly or not. Whether they weirdly enjoy it or not, or whether they really, really enjoy it enthusiastically. If you watch it for long, YouTube is taking that as a signal that, yep, this is good, push it more. Because we know more people like this person are going to like it and watch it till the end or to a considerable distance in the video. And the more they do that, the more they recommend it, the more people watch it, the more views you now get. But beyond that, how do you get people into the door? It's the thumbnail and the title. They need to say what the video does, but in a compelling way that will make people click. So that's it.
Okay, so thumbnail, title, and then obviously the content of your video. Like, it has to be engaging enough to make people watch it. Okay, yeah. So let's talk a bit about the business side of YouTube, making money, because it's important, right? As creators, you want to. I think a lot of people, at least just starting off YouTube, they are so buried into making the videos that they kind of forget about the fact that YouTube can be a form of business also. So, first off, do you remember your first paycheck from YouTube and how much was it?
Like I said, 6 months with zero was very humbling. Imagine if you have a good design thing going on and you now say you want to start this thing and then nothing's coming, But yeah, we weren't monetized on the channel until like 6 months later. And back then, now for monetization to work, you need to get to a threshold, 1,000 subscribers, 4,000 watch hours. back then we had to apply for monetization.
Really?
Yeah, and they would approve you. Unlike now. So yeah, it was a guessing game to get monetized back then. You might get rejected, and you
Was
have
there
to
like,
wait.
did you have to have like, what was the
I don't think
metrics
there was
for application?
I don't know that there was a criteria then. I'm not so sure.
Okay.
But you just applied based on maybe you feel like you're ready or something. I don't think there was a criteria.
That's not you're really doing.
There were people that had YouTube channels with subscribers that they didn't monetize.
Okay.
So. But now there's a threshold. My first paycheck was actually from a company called ARM Pensions.
Okay. Yeah.
They had an app called Payday Investor. And it was very amazing. Like, oh my God, a company reached out to me and they want to pay me to feature in my video. I was talking about apps. I did a video called, I think, the top 10 apps. This was in 2018. And I featured them in the video. I think the video got 80,000 views. And I was so happy because I was like, yes, finally, something that has a brand in it. And that was cool. So yeah, that was like my first one. I remember being at an event and, going to collect a physical check. And it was just very cool.
Yeah. I think for me, a lot of times I've seen videos that people talk about the fact that they were monetized and somehow they lost their monetization. So what's the biggest mistake that creators make when trying to monetize? It can be very screwed. Some people, they are all after monetization and they do certain things that YouTube just takes it away. So what's the biggest mistake that, one can make when trying to monetize?
I think it's really, really the copyright thing. Using music, especially music that is not, that you don't have the license to use, or music that is maybe celebrity music, if for lack of a better word. If you're using a Burna Boy song, hello, what is your problem? Get something. But I think now YouTube is making it easier. There's now like a revenue split. You can split your revenue between the artists and yourself and YouTube themselves. But best to just license your song. I am an ambassador for MusicBed, which is like one of the biggest licensing, music licensing companies for creators. And that's where we get all our songs. What did you call
the name?
MusicBed.
Okay, MusicBed. I'll check that out.
So, and that's where I get all the songs since from the beginning, actually. I think we've been there for like 7 or 6 years, I think, or 5 years. I can't remember now. But yeah, like that's where we get all our songs from. And, that's songs we use in all our videos, and all. But yeah, like licensing your songs is very affordable. You can pay like a couple dollars a month. And licensing your songs from there to use on your channel, if you need to use songs even, is the best way to go versus using a song that you don't have the right to use. Even when we're trying to edit a video, I think one of the editors put a song there. We did not have the right to use the song. The next thing you know, they were going to seize the monetization from that channel. And every money we made would go to that song because we did not have the right to use.
Really? So every money you make will actually go to the person?
To the person that owned the song. So they can claim the copyright that you use their work illegally. So to avoid that, and if they strike your channel, called a copyright strike, 3 times, your monetization is gone. Or you might even lose your channel. So you don't want that to happen. So use stuff you have license to, whether it's music, whether it's visual. I think you saw the Omoni Oboli thing that the guy that owned the drone footage claimed, I don't know how they settled it, but thankfully they settled it because the video has 20 million views. Imagine 20 million views with like, maybe you've made like $100,000 just because of one drone footage that somebody forgot to license. So you want to really, really avoid that. Make sure you have the rights to use everything. There's a way you can use things for fair use, if you are reporting about the thing versus using it to buttress your work.
As your own, yeah.
Yes, as your own. So I think that that's something you need to understand copyrights, and you'll be fine with monetization. If you have a face on the channel, that definitely helps. I think faceless channels do make some money, but it pays to kind of have a face because there's other hidden benefits to being having a presence. You can get interviewed by my tech journey with Esther, for instance. Exactly. That's one benefit of having your face on the channel. So so things like that. I mean, like it's just for personal branding. It does help.
Yeah, it's important. Okay, yeah. I think I like what you said about just knowing copyrights, like be aware about copyright infringement. Because for me, when I started, I think that was one of the mistakes I made, right? I had an editor and the editor would just put some music in the background. And when I eventually became monetized, when the channel became monetized, I then realized that, oh my gosh, these videos cannot be monetized because they have some copyright thing. But like, I'm thankful that at least they were in so many, so I just counted my losses and kept moving on and said that, okay, moving on, we are going to be using, licensed music in our video. So it's important that we don't just take things and not be make uninformed decisions. You're sure of exactly what you're doing. So I think I've heard you say, or I read in one of your articles where you said that maybe brand deals make more money for you than YouTube AdSense. Is that true?
So I think maybe it's because in this side of the world, and maybe because of my niche, for tech content specifically for Nigeria, the CPMs are not the highest. But then again, I really just love technology. That's even there were periods where I was earning $90 a month, and I didn't care because I just really liked it. There are periods where it got to $900 a month. I still didn't care. I just really liked it. For YouTube, we added the finance segments, and then all of a sudden, we're doing like insane numbers monthly. And that's because the finance niche does pay a lot more. But I didn't know that. That's not why I even did it. I did it because I have an economics degree and I know visual stuff. I know how to make visual content. And it just made sense that I could tell stories in that way, like orderly. I could research and do the videos in a very orderly way that people will understand. And from the comments, you see people like, oh my God, why didn't my lecturer teach me like this? Or this was very amazing. That's why the CBN deputy governor reached out and we had an interview. And that was because this person has an econs degree. He's able to tell visual stories, mix it together to do good presentations that actually was valuable for people. People could understand the Nigerian economic concepts better because they watched this person on YouTube. I've had an elderly man stop me in ShopRite and it was like, you need to continue making your finance videos. I really benefit from them. This is somebody that is old, like it's aged and very, that you look up to this person and they're like, wow, that is very nice to hear. And so many people watch my channel that they just stopped me random. I was jogging somewhere and this man was like, I love your podcast with Don Jazzy. I really learned a lot. I'm like, this is fascinating. You never know, who's watching. You never know where they've seen you. In fact, like the Secretary of State interview just changed a lot of things because we started getting so much more people that I never would have imagined, like Delta inviting us to their HQ or Google asking us to meet with the senior vice president or like there were so many other opportunities that just happened because you were willing to do some things that you deeply felt in your heart that this is valuable to not just me, but people like me. And you know that you're putting the best, you're researching, you're doing high quality stuff. And again, it still comes down to the consistency of feeling. When people watch my videos, I know how they feel. They're like, this is the best thing I've seen because of the quality, not just the quality now, the quality of the content itself. We have a research team, like Kabiru. He's studied economics as well in Unilag, same department that I was in. He's so good with like this research, economics research. And we like talk, we have a discussion on the project that we're working on, and then we eventually come up with something compelling. And we do a video that is just very easy to understand. Simple language, deep conversation, people can benefit from it, rather than scraping through so many news articles or whatever. Just come and watch it from somewhere that gives you like the distilled information, gives you all the facts in one place. And we're hoping to do more of those types of videos. I'm taking courses every day and trying to learn, how to even be better at this thing, visual storytelling, specifically for research and stuff that has to do with investigations and all those types of things. So, I think, like for me, it's really, really just been focusing on the value when it comes to at least monetization, focusing on the value and knowing that the more I give value, the more people can watch, the more brands can understand that, oh, this person's audiences, they trust him and they are there for him, and they're like, okay, we want to show our product to an audience of people like this, that there's already that embedded trust. And then, first of all, we would never use a product that we would never use. We would never review a product that we would never use or talk about a product that we would never use. So that's one thing. I wish I could take products that I would never use and hate on them, but we are so busy to even, with the ones that we like. So I think it's something that we also want to try and, balance as well. But we just really like so many things that we want to talk about them. But that's something that we've always upheld. The brands that reach out to us and want to give us stuff, no matter how enticing, we would say no, because we would never use the product in the first place. Why would we put it out there for people to use? So I think when brands see that and they see that there's value there, I think that it's easy for them to work with you and present something. So we've seen that a lot in Nigeria. The CPMs are not the greatest per se for my niche, but for other niches, they tend to do well, like finance, like I mentioned. But for tech, it was always about the passion and the love for it. And that still ties back to the thing I mentioned earlier. Like, you need to be able to have something that earns you money so that you can focus on your passion. Even if your passion is not going to pay you for 8 years.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Right. I love what you said about the fact that you're creating value. Like, when you were talking, I was just trying to, filter and get some stuff. Especially for your finance content, you're distilling finance concepts in a way that, the everyday person can easily understand without using too much big grammar. And the point is, you're learning, like you yourself, you say you're taking courses, and also just makes me realize that you cannot really pour from an empty cup, because as much as you need to create content as a content creator, as someone that creates content consistently, you can't just create your content and that's the end. You have to constantly like improve yourself, learn as much, and try to be a person of value, because it's when you're a person of value you can actually give value. And for me also, even starting off podcasting, I know that I got a couple of books and I read and I just tried to learn as much, and it's still something I'm learning as well. I think it will help content creators to be aware that as much as you're creating content, you also want to pour into yourself so that the content you're creating can be very valuable for people as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah. You're gradually wrapping up, Fisayo, and one thing, I have an interesting question to ask you. For me, I know that when I started creating content, I used to kind of fret about the performance of the video. Does this still happen to you?
So I've come to realize that it matters the most to you what you created versus how it is received. And reception is great. It's an external validation that a lot of people liked this thing or saw this thing. I mean, there are other ways that you can get views. You can promote the video a lot, talk about the video every day until people watch it. it might not be the easiest or best way. If other people are talking about it, obviously it means that there's some weight there. But I would say I don't fret about whether people watch it or not, even though that is very nice. And if you're working with brands, they want numbers. They want to see that a lot of people watch their video or the thing that they work with you on. And we have different ways that we go about these things. For us, whenever we want to work with a brand, we make sure that it is the way we want to work on it. So it is the way we see fit that our audience will connect. Like, we actually work with Bolt. I did a video where I registered my vehicle on Bolt, became a Bolt driver for a day, picked up passengers, and when they reached out, there was one idea, and I was like, this is the idea that I want to do. Like, I want to actually go out and pick up passengers from the streets and be a Bolt driver in my Lexus. And people were like, huh? And we picked up passengers. They're like, is this the Bolt? That kind of reaction was very nice to me. And
that must have gotten lots of views, because I did see views.
Well, it didn't get a lot of views where I thought it would even get a lot of views. On YouTube, I think we have like 30,000. But I posted how much I made in a day as a Bolt driver on Twitter, and we got 1 million people to see that. So that was very nice. And you can imagine how happy the brand must have felt. So, but I think that was something that was very fascinating to see. But the truth is, I did test it myself. I did register my vehicle. I went through the whole process, registered my vehicle, did the thing, and it was very interesting to me. Like, we enjoyed ourselves during that collaboration, picking up people, gisting with them. Fortunately, we saw people that recognized me, just having fun and doing something like that. I think that's what
must have been a fun content.
Yeah. So that's it. It was very fun. I recommend you watch the video. No shameless marketing. Anyway, please watch the video and like it and subscribe.
Like the amount of times you plugged your video.
Yes. So
no worries, it's fine.
Yeah, like, I think I'm not so worried about like a massive. We've never gone viral for anything. We've never gone viral on the videos we've made. We've gone viral on unboxing videos. Our unboxing videos get 20 million views, 19 million views, 15 million views, 10 million views consistently. Millions and millions and millions, because there's no word spoken. That video reaches the whole world because it's just me unboxing a phone. So those, they get millions of views. But like videos that we speak and do well, we're very fortunate for that to happen. But they mostly happen in short form side of things, versus the long form. For long form videos that have done well, they were typically like tech videos in the heyday, or finance videos, typically like, crypto. I really like crypto. And whenever we talk about crypto, those just like get people's attention.
People are so interested in crypto.
Yeah. And I was using crypto since 2017. Like, one of the freelancing projects I did, I earned mainly in crypto. So it was very fascinating. One of my first videos actually were about understanding Bitcoin. Believe it or not, like, I think it was in 2017 or late 2017. I explained Bitcoin and how it worked, and mining. I was mining too. Like, it was just so fascinating. But I was really just interested in these things, like, very, very, very early on. But yeah, so we find that those tend to do well because it's like people really care about money in this side of the world. We have 1 trillion and one fintechs. Very happy for all of them doing well in this our region. But yeah, beyond that, I'm just like, I'm happy when I get comments on videos that point to what we intended. Like, I watched this video. So there was a real comment on a review we did. It was like, the person said, I watched this video and I felt like you walked me through this product, and I felt I was in the store with you trying to buy this phone. I know everything about this phone and I don't need any more knowledge. Like, this is a real comment that people have put on our videos. Like, you are walking us through this device as if we are right there with you.
And taking them on the journey.
And that's the goal. Like, that's what we always want to achieve with our reviews and our products. Like, know everything about this device before you buy it.
Yeah, that's good. Fisayo, 2 more questions and then we wrap up. First question, I know when you started creating content in 2017 up until now I know you have a team, but how has your content creation process evolved? Right, when you were working alone and it was just you, I'm sure there were things that you were doing. And what's your content creation process? What does it look like now?
Yeah, so for content creation, when I started, it was just me, and then we had someone join the team who I'm amazingly proud of. His name is Agbaje. Handle is it's N3T. He does a lot of things for Adobe now, which I'm so proud. Every time I see him, I'm just so happy. He was he was the first person that joined me, and 2 of us were making videos for a considerable amount of time, and then he left, and then we had another person join us, and then another person, and another person, and more and more and more. So we have a team of 6 now.
Nice.
And we have a head of short form, head of long form, head of unboxing.
Really? Head of unboxing? Yes. That sounds like a very interesting role.
Yes. Our researcher. So her name is Connie. She does all our unboxing videos. She's the one that edited the video with the Secretary of State. So she's very, very good with those. So head of short, head of long, head of unboxing. We have an unboxing channel separately that she manages that. We have research, animation, and then the communication. So like 6 of them, and then there's me, who is like the servant for everybody. So
right,
yeah, head of service.
Head of service. So, yeah. I like that.
Yeah. So that's basically how we are now. And they are all so good. They are all improving, all learning, all and it's just so grateful to be able to work with like talented people like that. And we all grew, like we're all growing as we were progressing. I'm able to see that how they've grown, how better they've become. They write stuff fast, review stuff fast, edit stuff fast, and we just have something coming consistently. And they understand the vision and where we are going. And eventually, the goal is to better the creative space in Nigeria and put us on the map globally. And they understand that vision, and they are like very aligned on it.
They're aligned. Yeah. Nice. Okay, so where do you see Fisayo Fosudo as a person and even with your channel? What are your biggest goals for the next 5 years? What should we expect?
So, like I said, the goal is really to improve the creative space in Nigeria. We're looking at investing in the space in Nigeria, improving creativity with tech, improving different segments that people may not have seen. We're actively working behind the scenes to make sure that things improve in that way. And hopefully, I know that we're going to make an impact in a way that people may not even expect. And when that happens, hopefully you will get this podcast to reference.
Yeah, that happens. I'll also invite you again.
Yeah. But yeah, like we're working very, very hard and tirelessly on a lot of things. And I just can't wait. And I'm grateful for everyone I've met, people I've seen, people I've spoken with. I'm just grateful, man. Like, this is a dream job for me. I won't lie. Making content, being able to sit down in a room with people that you like and talk to the camera and just review a product or talk about a concept or share it. And then people are on the internet that like what you're talking about, care about what you're talking about, comment on it, react to it, sometimes fight you. And you're just able to respond and just... This is technology that is making all of this happen. And I am talking about technology And I'm just grateful to be in that intersection. The future is also, AI and all. It's so interesting that we never said anything about AI in this whole conversation, which is nice. But like AI is like the future, and we're seeing all of that happen. And yeah, we're just trying to be at the center of it and also improve the space specifically, like in this region, for the world. We cannot just think locally, obviously, but we also need to improve internally before we can have something, to show. So yeah, I'm really excited. It's scary. We're taking a lot of risk, but I'm just excited. And hopefully it works out, and I'll be able to tell you that, hey, remember what we spoke about? Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm really like proud of everything you're doing, Fisayo, putting
Thank you
Nigeria on the map. Like, it's inspiring to see, and knowing how you started, and in 8 years, knowing how much you've grown, you have a team, you're doing amazing, and yeah, keep making Nigeria proud and keep inspiring people coming behind.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
You're welcome. This has been a fun conversation. Thanks for coming and sharing your story and your YouTube journey with us. So yeah, I'm sure everyone listening, this is like YouTube 101 masterclass that we just had now. Yeah. So yeah, thank you. And to everyone that joined this episode, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in another one. Bye.